Ahead of next year's World Cup in Germany, fewer ignorant, dull, boring, Neanderthal, violent, disturbed, limited, hapless troublemakers are going to be let off with a caution. Instead, even potty fans who commit minor offences will be barred from travelling abroad.
In England and Wales for a minimum of 3 years. You won't be allowed to travel abroad to watch England play or your local club play in Europe, and if you breach that order, you'll be taken back before the courts, and you can and often do go to prison for it.
People are very happy to have violent criminals taken out of the situation so that people are less likely to be the victims of violence if any of the football match. What they don't particularly want to see, though, is incommensurate punishments for people who have absolutely trivial offences, who haven't been involved in any violence or threatening behaviour at all.
Well, from the Chelsea fan side is Toby Brown, and hopefully Darren Lewis, who's football correspondent from the Mirror, he's rushing across London. Hopefully he'll be able to make it here to talk to us.
He's always late, though.
He is always late, I know, not punctual at all. But thanks for joining us, Toby.
No
Were you all concerned about this, this news?
Well, pretty much what we just heard then. I mean, the fear is that people are going to be going out and then having a few drinks and having a bit of a sing-song, being a bit boisterous, and the police are going to be clamping down on this rather than violence and vandalism, which is what's going to warrant it. They're going to be wanting to look like they're making a difference and having an effect by releasing numbers of people that they're banning each year and things like this. And I do feel that the average fan who wants to go along and give the referee a piece of his mind or something like this is quite probably going to be affected by it when it's not warranted.
So you're particularly worried about where they draw the line between simply being a little boisterous and actually hardline hooliganism?
Yeah, I think there needs to be a lot more clarification in how they're going to handle it. I mean, the Football Supporters Federation has said, we completely support the banning orders for violence and for, destructive actions and stuff like that. But it needs to be for that reason.
Toby, just look over here at this screen. I thought while you're talking, you didn't know that this is what we're showing. This crosses the line, isn't it?
Yeah,
these
fully.
People, I mean, look at them. This, for me, who doesn't really care about football, I think these people don't either, do they?
Well, there's a certain element, a very minor percentage, who actually even like to organise fights, and I read today that this is what they're going to clamp down on as well.
Right.
People who, get in mobile contact and actually arrange, fights like that away from the ground, and then it's what starts the trouble. Of course, the English are notorious to get a few drinks in them. They're going to stand their ground and defend their corner, and you get some small troublemakers starting.
Look at that one there. Look at it. Why don't we find his name? That one just threw. Look at that one there. Who's he?
No idea.
Who's that one? Who's he?
Paddy.
No, I want to know who he is. What's the matter with the little creature? Does he actually like football, or does he like throwing rocks, Toby?
Well,
if he was a friend of yours, what would you do?
He'd be no friend of mine.
Nice one, nice one.
Basically, I mean, if it's the people who are doing this sort of actions, then they need to be stopped, they need to be identified, and they need to be banned from going, because people like you and I who want to go abroad and watch England play could well suffer for it, and that's not right.
Do you worry that tactically Neanderthal, violent, limited, dull, useless creatures like this will save it for Munich? Because if they do it now, they won't go. Whereas if they save their, whatever this is called, for Munich, they can give it to the Germans and not do it here.
Well, I mean, there's been quite a few banning orders put out in the last couple of years. I read somewhere today that the figures have increased by about 20–30%. And of course, last time England were away in Japan, there was minimal trouble. I'm hoping that that repeats itself in Germany.
Right, it's great you're here, Toby, because you're here because you run a football fan site. You're not
run it. I help to work.
But you're not representing any sort of special interest. So let's move on. We've got the advantage of you here. We're waiting for Darren, who's a friend of ours. We hope he's coming. We want to talk about everything else, not just the hooliganism, because as if by magic, tomorrow sees the start of the Premiership season.
Yes, being the clever souls we are, we've made a prediction for the year ahead.
Well, Chelsea, Man United or Arsenal will win, apparently.
Wigan and West Ham won't.
People who know say it seems that the cheeky little Premiership is devoid of any real competition at all these days. Indeed, the bookies have moneybags Chelsea favourites to retain the title at 11–8 on. Arsenal and Man United are on odds of 3–1. Millions ask why it's all so boring. Tonight, from the locker room, comes an answer. Big Wonga.
Since last summer, Jose Mourinho spent £100 million on new players at Chelsea. Their opponents on Sunday, Premiership newcomers Wigan, have spent less than £2 million.
So if you want a top-notch season ticket at Stamford Bridge, do you know how much it is, Toby?
Just over £1,000, I think.
That's right. Could have read it better than I could. Wigan's is just a tad cheaper.
Well, one person who has her Wigan season ticket is Caroline Molyneux. She's delighted to be in the Premiership.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's the dream come true. It really is.
And you've got a big game against Chelsea this weekend, don't you? I mean, are there any realistic chances of success?
Yes, of course there are. We've made it to the Premier League on merit. It's a massive game for us, and I don't think anyone will believe we're actually here until the team run out on Sunday. Really, nobody can wait. None of the fans can wait until Sunday.
But these are the champions we're talking about here.
Yes, they are the champions, but we're the new boys, and other teams have made it up and succeeded, and we can do the same. Portsmouth beat Manchester United last season. I think we can pull off a shock victory on Sunday. I
wanted to ask you actually about generally teams at the bottom, because you know, the teams that sort of move up, they tend to lurk around the bottom and then tend to get relegated again. Do you think that's going to be Wigan's fate?
All that needs to happen this season is us to stay up, and that will be a brilliant achievement. Then I think Paul Jewell and Dave Whelan will look to the future and build on what we can succeed at. Charlton are a good example of that. They lurked around the bottom, as you say, and now they are pushing up to that top 6 spot. So we can do that.
Okay, Caroline Molyneux, thanks very much indeed.
That was earlier, wasn't it? Because once I wasn't here.
That's right.
Just in case it didn't
In spirit you were, though.
Toby, are you one of those men, before we talk about Chelsea, who would rather watch football than have sex?
I've got to be careful because my girlfriend's watching. Yes, probably.
Is she a football widow now?
Hang on, that's being careful, isn't it? I've got to be careful because my girlfriend's watching. Yes, I'd rather watch football.
It's very honest of you. But, you know, we said earlier a 3-horse race or 4-horse race, possibly a little boring. That's not boring at all. I mean, it's, you know, we've just had Chelsea beat Arsenal in the Community Shield.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's going to be an exciting season.
I think, well, I mean, this has been said at the beginning of many seasons that we're going to look at one of the tightest for years. And that there are genuinely 4 teams that can challenge. I mean, Chelsea, obviously, everyone knows their quality. We won the league last year.
Money.
Arsenal, that's an old argument. Arsenal, I think, are stronger despite Vieira's loss. I think they're going to come together in a similar way that Everton did with the loss of Rooney last season. Manchester United, you can never discount. They've made a few good signings as well. One more this morning, I believe, Jorginho, or he might be on his way in. And Liverpool as well. They're going to be buoyed by their Champions League success last season. So.
Can I ask you a question about it?
You can.
And I won't say it again, but really, I don't know about what I'm talking about. But it does seem to me that the whole of the people who do like football were energised by Liverpool's victory in Europe. It did seem to provide a great deal of old-fashioned support across the board. Even rivals of Liverpool celebrated their success. Were you one of those people who felt the same way?
Not overly, no. There was a bit of bitterness between Liverpool and Chelsea for the semi-final.
Thank you so much for joining us, Darren.
It's always a pleasure. I've missed you so much.
Do you agree with what we just said?
Yes.
Right, good night. No, Darren, is it a 3-way race? Is it money that's bought it? And what are your predictions?
Yes, it's a 3-way race, maybe even 4, because I think you can't discount Liverpool. Rafa Benitez, the manager of Liverpool, he was manager of Valencia last season, who had far less money than Real Madrid and Barcelona, and who went and won the title, so you can't discount them. We'd love to see anyone other than Chelsea win it, because there's so much money, and you know, you always want the underdog. In Britain, don't we? We want underdogs to win. We'd love it if Arsenal could win, even though they haven't got as much money. I mean, we don't really care if Man United don't win it.
Darren, we really have to end, but really, really quickly. We just saw Caroline talking about Wigan. What's your prediction for Wigan?
They're going to go down. I mean, nice club, great fans. Sorry, no chance.
Okay, unfortunately.
Well, hang on. Can you read our cricket news?
Yes, Darren. Can you read our cricket news for us?
We do cricket news.
Yeah, over there, to this one here down there.
Okay, sport with a smaller ball now, and it was another good day for England on the second day of the 3rd Ashes Test. Against Australia at Old Trafford, Ashley Giles took 3 wickets. Yes, yes, yes. And the Aussies ended the day on 210 for 7 in reply to the home side's 444 all out. Let me say that again. In reply to the home side's 444 all out.
Do you love the cricket as much as...
Thanks. That's it. That really is it.
Wants me out of here.
No, I didn't worry. Stay.
Thanks guys for coming in.
Okay, thanks,
Cheers.
Ollie.
Thank you both very much. Right, excuse me a moment.